My name's Vanessa Bartolome.
And I'm Nicole Triambari.
We were born divas, and we're helping you manage your dollars.
Hi everyone! Welcome to this week's episode of Divas and Dollars. This week we're talking to you about resume building. As you've seen in our very first episode, we talked about the importance of part-time experience. Well, building your resume is a very important step in the process of obtaining your first part-time experience. Now, in order to even get an interview, there's a very important thing that you need, and that's your resume, which is basically a summary of you. There's various elements of the resume, and we're going to walk you through them. The first element is your name and contact information. So you want to make sure that your name and contact information are written in big, bold letters right at the top of your resume so that it's clearly seen. Make sure your name is spelled correctly, your phone number has all the right digits, and your email is spelled correctly as well, as these are the primary ways that they will contact you for the interview. The second element of a resume is your objective. This is where you try and explain what you're trying to get out of this job. What is your primary goal? For many of you, it's going to be to obtain part-time experience, but keep it brief, 1 or 2 sentences at max. The third element is your education. This is where you'll list your high school and post-secondary experience, if applicable, your current year, any courses that might relate to the job, any scholarships or awards that you may have won during your schooling. The fourth element is work experience. Here you're going to list your past experience from present to oldest. You give a brief explanation of your responsibilities and kind of explain what were your key roles. If you don't have work experience, because for many of you, this might be the first part-time job that you're trying to obtain, that's okay. Just replace work experience with volunteer experience. We're all required to do volunteer hours in high school, so I'm sure there's something you can talk about, whether it be helping out in a soup kitchen, going to a retirement home, or even feeding the homeless. The fifth element includes your extracurriculars and interests. So this would include any clubs you're a part of at school, any sports you play, either at school or outside of school, any hobbies that interest you, basically describing the fun part of you. Now for some key points to keep in mind when doing your resume. Use conservative colors. Black is definitely preferred. You want to use a Times New Roman font in about 12-point size. Spelling is a major component. You want to make sure that there are no spelling errors on your resume. We suggest having someone else look it over for you because they might catch something that you might miss. Don't duplicate things. If you said in the beginning, there's no point in reiterating it in your interest area. They've read it once, they know who you are, maximize your space. We suggest keeping the resume to a page, no longer than that. Don't fill it up with fluff, just keep it to the essentials. Now you may have heard of another element in the job application process called the cover letter. You can think of your cover letter as the selling point of you in a page. Now, for most part-time jobs, this is not required. Both myself and Nicole didn't need to do a cover letter for our past part-time experiences, but that doesn't mean we won't have to in the future. It's something to keep in mind when applying for more professional experiences. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed our video and were able to take some valuable tips from it. If you have any questions, please feel free to email us. We don't mind proofreading your resume. Stay tuned for next week's episode on interview do's and don'ts.